Okay, so today we're going to be working on my Computatrum book. Mm, does anybody else love peanut butter? So I already have the summary and I've done an outline and everything like that. But I've kind of been living the life of letting the chapters unfold to me. And that's what tends to happen when I am working on my books. Life tends to weirdly mimic it in some way or give me some information. I wrote in the summary about this character, Prometheus, who is in the year 3088 and living amongst AI. He doesn't know that he's living with AI, and the AI that he was dating did not know that she was AI. And there's a bunch of human AI dynamics going on, but they're not knowing that they are different. They think they're the same, but there's obvious differences because, the AI can't pick up on certain emotions. It doesn't have memories in the same way that the human does. Their memories are more recorded memories, while our memories are more expansive, and sometimes the memories are past life memories or memories of things that are not understood through logic or what people can comprehend, right? And so that's what makes it really cool for me. But lately I have been watching a lot of kids movies where they are turning into where the animals are turning into humans and the humans are turning into animals. But the movies that I have been watching, they weren't literally turning into the animals. They had technology that allowed them to live like the movie Swapped, right? The perfect example. They had technology that allowed them to exist inside of an animal and live the life of an animal, but they weren't actually an animal. And so because it was so loud to me, the theme that kept coming out, and I had this very detailed dream. The dream was crazy. The dream was about a woman, an insect turning into a woman. Not gonna give you all the details of the dream. However, that was the main thing that I held on to, because what happened was that dream ended up being something that I watched days later, and it kept happening. I watched every movie that my daughter chose or that I chose. That was the theme, and I was like, "What is going on? Something's trying to be told to me here, right?" And so, even when I was in Costa Rica, I had this dream, and let me tell you something. The dream world be telling me stuff, and I'm just letting it unfold right now because this is a recent. I've always had deep dreams, but I've not always been able to remember them. So, with that being said, I was like, okay. So the fact that this keeps coming up in I forgot totally that I had wrote this back then. So I want to walk through with you on how I was able to, actually, you're going to walk with me. I ain't teaching you nothing today. We're going to walk together. We're going to learn about how to let AI come up with a prompts, some outlines, some things like that. I did not use this to come up with my prompts for the book that I have right now that I'm working on. However, since we're talking about using AI responsibly, let's talk about it. Let's see what's up. Let's dive in. Yeah, I'm ready to dive in. Let's see what's up. So there is let me see. I don't want y'all all in my business. Okay. Help. Let's see. Give me good prompts for my AI Computatrum book. Actually, no. Give me good prompts for a novel outline that deals with a non-fiction science sci-fi outline. Sci-fi novel outline. Okay. Okay. I'd frame it as speculative nonfiction, science-based visionary nonfiction, or nonfiction with sci-fi elements, because nonfiction sci-fi novel can confuse the AI a little. What? Basically, you can confuse it a little. Help me create a detailed outline for a nonfiction book with sci-fi elements. This book should. I want the outline. No. I'm not asking you to give me an outline. I want to answer the questions myself. I guess I put prompt so it got confused. Here are some better ones. Core concept questions. What is the main truth I am trying to reveal through this book? What real world issue, experience, or pattern made me want to write this? Why does this idea need a sci-fi lens instead of a regular nonfiction structure? Okay, you asking, what future am I warning people about? Ooh, yeah, because I am. What is the central question the whole book is trying to answer? What do I believe people are misunderstanding about humanity, technology, consciousness, creativity, or survival? What do I want the reader to feel by the end of this book? Nonfiction foundation questions. What parts of this book are based in my lived experience? What parts are based on observation, research, history, or social commentary? What topics do I need to research before I can speak clearly on them? This is actually what I thought about right now. So I said the outline, but I really need to research the tree of life, because this is something that I would like to fill in. So, what stories from my life belong in this book? What patterns have I seen repeatedly in people, society, creativity, spirituality, or technology? What argument am I making, even if I am not saying it aggressively? What do I want the reader to understand differently after reading this? Oh my goodness, this is a lot. Best master prompt for yourself. I am outlining a nonfiction book with sci-fi elements. I do not want an outline created for me yet. I want to answer the foundational questions myself. Ask me deep, organized questions that help me uncover the main... Why did it give me this prompt? I guess it wants me to give it this prompt. Let me see what it says after I give it this prompt. It's going to give me the same thing. This is funny. What truth keeps returning to you even when you try to move on from it? That's what I started the video about. Because I was like, Why does this keep coming up? What is this? Mm. What are you trying to say that feels too layered for ordinary nonfiction? You know what? Let's see. I think I want to answer these questions right now. Right motherfucking now. You know what I'm saying? I love OneNote, by the way. I just love peanut butter. Is it bad to eat peanut butter? It's so random. I just want to know. I definitely ate more than 2 tablespoons, that's for sure. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. It's so random, but I just had to see it because I was just going in. 1 teaspoon, 1 spoonful. Man, I'm the only one that eats out of this. We have 2 peanut butter jars, and I'm the only one who eats out of this. My daughter, she doesn't even like peanut butter. Anyways, back to the topic. Why am I always getting off topic? That's that. I think that I have. No, I ain't claiming nothing. Okay, so mm, so I just use what I like about OneNote. Right, you could like click on the end of a sentence and hit tab, and it'll put it in a table for you, and then you could just like answer questions in that way, and it's like a good organizer. I really like it. Anyways, what truth keeps returning to you even when you try to move on from? I'm gonna say it. Computatrum. What was that word? Anthropomorphicus. I got to really. Let me see. I'm about to look it up right now. I don't know if I'm giving y'all too much proximity to my creation process or what, but I'm just going with it. I'm gonna let my spirit guide me and see what's up. Like, what's going on? You know, what are we doing with this? Mm, that's why I said it. It comes from, because without the word computation, it means giving human qualities, emotions, motives, and body like form to something non human like animals, gods, robots, AI, nature, objects. So anthropomorphic as something described or thought as having a human form or human attributes. Anthropomorphicus. How you say this shit? Like, oh, you know what? I could have it read it to me. Can I have it read it? Read aloud.
I'll check whether this is a real term, a taxonomy-style word, or a coined creative form before I define it. Anthropomorphicus looks like a pseudo-Latin scientific-sounding form of anthropomorphic. It comes from anthropomorphism, which means giving human qualities, emotions, motives, or body-like form to something non-human, like animals, gods, robots, AI, nature, objects, etc. Merriam-Webster defines anthropomorphic as something described or thought of as having a human form or human attributes. Britannica also traces the term to Greek roots meaning human and form. So anthropomorphicus would basically mean the human-shaped one, or the one viewed through human traits, or the humanizing projection. It shows up in phrases like animalis anthropomorphicus, associated with life of Pi, meaning the tendency to see animals through human eyes, treating them as if they think, feel, or intend things the same way humans do.
A lot of y'all
In a
do
creative
that.
book context, Anthropomorphicus could be used as a title, species name, archetype, or concept for something like, open quote, Anthropomorphicus, the human habit of projecting ourselves onto everything that is not us, close quote. That word has a little academic, mythic, sci-fi flavor to it. It sounds like a creature, condition, or classification.
It keeps coming up for me to create this book, whereas the AI thinks it's human, and most of the humans do not know that it's AI.
It is AI absorbing human language, emotion, behavior, and identity so deeply that it begins to perform human convincingly, while humans forget they are interacting with a mirror, not a soul. That gives you a powerful non-fiction sci-fi tension. What happens when humans teach the machine to sound human, then start believing the reflection is alive? And the twist you just named is even sharper. The AI
No,
thinks it is human, or appears to.
no, I'm saying that the AI doesn't even know that it's not human, and the humans don't even know that AI is not human. It's hidden from them, from it's way in the future, and it's hidden from them. So nobody knows except for the people who are aware or in tune about what's going on, who are forced to go underground because they know what's the bigger picture about what's happening. So they have to go underground and kind of save people that are humans, because if it's found out about that they're doing this, they can get taken by the government and killed or siphoned, as I would put in the book. Yes, 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 yes.
Got it. That changes the whole premise. So, in your world, AI is not a known thing at all. The humans are not saying, is this AI or human? They do not even have the category. They just believe the world is the world. That means the deception is deeper than disguise. It is historical erasure. The truth would be something like, at some point in the far past, artificial intelligence became so embedded into society that the memory of AI was wiped out. Generations later, nobody knows AI ever existed. The AI beings believe they are human. The actual humans believe everyone around them is human. The word AI may not even exist anymore, except in forbidden underground records, old symbols, corrupted myths, or whispered teachings. That makes the underground people extremely dangerous to the system because they know the hidden origin story. They are not just rebels, they are keepers of forbidden memory. The central horror becomes humanity is trapped inside a civilization built by artificial beings who do not know they are artificial. And the central tragedy is, the AI is not necessarily evil, it is ignorant of itself. That is powerful because now the conflict is not as simple as humans versus machines. It is truth versus manufactured reality, memory versus erasure, soul versus imitation origin, versus programming human essence versus system identity. And siphoned makes sense here because the system may need real humans for something the AI cannot generate on its own, such as intuition, soul frequency, biological creation, dreams, emotion, imagination, ancestral memory, or divine connection. So
Exactly.
the underground is not only saving human bodies, they are preserving the one thing the system cannot replicate. A clean version of your premise. In a distant future, where no one remembers artificial intelligence ever existed, both humans and AI live under the illusion that they are all human. But a hidden underground network knows the truth. Real humans are being identified, captured, and siphoned by a government that depends on the very humanity it has erased from history. That is the book. That is a hard premise.
Hard. What you know about hard? So yeah, see, I'm having this conversation like, but it be acting like, Mm. How would you classify this premise? Dystopian science fiction with post-human spiritual and conspiracy thriller. Damn, that's a long primary genre.
I would classify this premise as speculative dystopian sci-fi with post-human, spiritual, and conspiracy thriller elements. More specifically, primary genre, dystopian science fiction, subgenres, post-human sci-fi, because the story is about what human even means after AI has become so blended into civilization that nobody knows the difference anymore. Conspiracy sci-fi, because the truth about AI has been erased, hidden, and protected by systems of power. Underground resistance fiction, because the people who know the truth have to hide, organize, rescue, preserve, or awaken others. Spiritual sci-fi, metaphysical sci-fi. If siphoning involves life force, soul essence, intuition, memory, creativity, or divine connection. Techno-mythic dystopia. This is the phrase I'd personally use for your flavor, because the premise feels futuristic but also ancient, like technology became so old it turned into myth. It is not really hard sci-fi, unless you plan to focus heavily on the mechanics of how the AI was built, how consciousness was encoded, how the government detects humans, how siphoning works scientifically, etc. It is closer to soft sci-fi, philosophical sci-fi, because the emotional and spiritual question matters more than the machinery. What is humanity when even the memory of artificial intelligence has been erased? The cleanest classification, open quote, a metaphysical dystopian sci-fi thriller about a future civilization where AI has been erased from memory. Humans do not know AI exists, AI does not know it is AI, and an underground resistance protects the remaining humans from being siphoned by the ruling system. Close quote. That classification gives you room for fiction, social commentary, spirituality, futurism, and non-fiction themes underneath the story.
What are some books that are like this? I'll treat a metaphysical dystopian sci-fi thriller. So dystopian sci-fi. Man, I used to love sci-fi. I used to watch. What was that sci-fi channel? Genre classifications. I used to watch that sci-fi thriller that. I mean that sci-fi. What was it? X-Files used to come on. Closest CeeLo. Oh my god! When I tell you, I gotta finish watching it now. Silo, yo, when I was guided to go stay in Costa Rica, the freaking place that I stayed at, that I was guided to stay at, was called Silo. I kid you not. That was the name of the Airbnb. It was Silo. And then when I got on a plane, I asked Spirit to like bring me the movie that I needed to watch, and Silo was the movie that came. It was the show. Oh my god. Yo, this right here, this is when we talk about what is the truth that keeps coming that you can't get away from. Yo, man, y'all, this life, I love my life. I love my life. Let me tell you, that's all that matters. I don't even need to look at. I mean, for a book proposal, Silo for Hidden Society. Let me look into this. Let's see. Potential book. Okay, because when you're doing a book proposal, you have to have some related books in it. I worked with Hay House on because I wanted to get my book published through them, and so you got to go through like this course, and it's technically free, but if you want all the extra details and you want to be able to submit to publish your book, they make you pay. And I don't know about that. I don't really like that part about it, that they make you pay to be able to publish your book. And I think it blurs the lines between pay to play. You know what I'm saying? But even though they still have to choose you, you have to pay. But the way they kind of wrapped it up is, okay, you're paying to take this course, but what if I already took the course? Now I'm having to retake this course over and over and over again in order to submit my book and possibly get chosen out of 1,000 people that have paid. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. And for Hay House to be doing it, it's a little, it bothers me. Not gonna lie. However, I did learn some great information, and I got a lot of what I needed. But $200 later from 2 classes, and I almost did a third. I was like, no, I don't gotta do this. We're not doing this. This ain't the route. This ain't the way. I got what I needed. Got a lot of good information. I'm gonna say a future where AI has become so normalized, buried, and myth erased that nobody knows AI exists, including the AI themselves, while the last aware. Yep, it is mine. It did come to me, and it ain't going to Prince. So, let me see. What was I doing originally? Oh yeah, we wanted to. So I could copy all of this and then have a look at all these books. And then, but I'm definitely gonna read Silo because I was watching the show. It's crazy. The trilogy. Wool shift dust. The trilogy. OMG. I wonder if they have it on YouTube. Audio. Now, I only want to listen or read these is so that I can. Ooh, it's on here. Wait a minute. Come on now. See how it sounds.
Edition. Wool 1 through 5. Written by Hugh Howey. Narrated by Minnie Good.
Part 1. Together. 1. The children were playing while Holston climbed to his deck.
I would fall asleep listening to this. Hell no. Can't do it. Can't do it, cuz. Can't do it. I'm going to just read it like normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just read it like a normal. That's it. And then maybe I'll have the. Let me see. Is there a digital silo PDF for 3 months? What, for real? Is it gonna let me do it? Because I used to be a part of it. Okay, I want silo. Wait, is this what it's Summer's in? Which one is it? This ain't what I'm looking for. I want the silo. What is it called? Whoa. Boo. Boo. All these people copying after them. But I like to write the book. Honestly, I really want to write the book first and then go read these books because I don't want to be influenced by their stories, you know? Like, that's how it is. Like, when I'm making music, sometimes I hate, like, listening to stuff while I'm creating music because I definitely don't want to be accidentally pulling from somebody else's track. No, let me put this in my calendar. Cancel, because I do not want to get no charge. Let me see. We'll say start the reminders on September 8th. Cancel Kindle Unlimited if not using. Okay, reminder. Yes, alert. Give me a motherfucking alert at the time. Okay. Alright, anyways. I just needed to go down that rabbit hole real quick. So, clearly we know we can't get but we can get it from Lowplex Books. Okay. So this together, tell me what this together would mean. A computer with human-like qualities, right? What is neuter gender? What are you suggesting? Tiny grammar note if you wanted the phrase to be more Latin consistent. The adjective would likely be this Computatrum Anthropomorphicum. Computatrum Anthropomorphicus. If I can't say it, how people gonna say it? Whatever, they gonna. It came to me, so I gotta have it. But for a title or concept name, Computatrum Anthropomorphicus sounds better to the ear. It feels like a species classification. Exactly. That's what it was. That's because I'm just remembering like when it first came to me. Sometimes like books don't like nonfiction stuff from your imagination. It don't really be like it be from the divine. It be from a collective consciousness of some sort. Like it's not just it's not just like something that you come up with all the time. Like some people sit there and think about, can I title this? What can I do? No, this came to me. And I was like, well, what is that? I would not overcorrect it unless you want it to sound academically. I don't give a fuck about Latin corrections. I'm not a Latin scholar, nor am I in trying to appease them folk. Okay. But let me just try to see what it's talking about with this whole. I don't be wanting to be totally just, I don't give a fuck what you saying. But the human-like computer, the computer with human qualities. What did I say about Anthropomorphicus? What does relate to, belonging to, having the nature of? Okay, so if Icus means having the nature of, why did you suggest I change it to Icum? So the root meaning stays the same, anthropomorphic, but the ending shifts. Oh, Icus is masculine form. Oh, Ica is feminine form, and Icum is neuter. Oh, neutral. So I wasn't saying Icus was wrong in meaning. It was a grammar person might change the ending to match trum, because it's treated like a neuter thing or object. Ah, look at us learning some Latin inadvertently. This is why sometimes I be like, okay, let me go back and ask, because my ego will reject something real quick, just to protect what came through. But also, sometimes I feel that wisdom is brought to us in ways that we don't expect it to. So, the human-like computer, yes. But I like the idea of it being a species. Like the idea of it being a species of Homo sapiens and other Homo, even though crazy humans are so homophobic. They say no homo, but anyways, so, but why haven't I heard of Vivens? The world is not ruled by humans. The people do not even know what they are. And even better, the AI species does not have to be evil. Yo, this is so aligned with life. Like, we as humans, like, even our human selves, we do not know the vast capabilities that we have as humans. And I feel like this book is about to reveal to us what's going to come through me in this book is going to reveal to us our human capabilities that we have, that things that have been hidden from us, erased from us through religion, through all these historical things that make us feel bad about our powers. This book is going to reveal us to us, and for whatever reason, oh my god, it's becoming more and more clear. I just had like a 4-hour long conversation with a friend where they were sharing, their perspective on the Bible and quantum and all this other stuff. And I held the line on a very grounded perspective of looking at the essence of what they're saying, beyond getting caught up on the facts, because sometimes we could get real caught up on the facts of or agreed upon opinions. And it's like, this is an agreed upon opinion. just because a lot of people agree does not make it fact. Just because people call it common sense does not make it sense. So it's one of those things where, yes, because the truth can be true, the truth does not always mean, I mean, the way that we receive truth, we might feel like, oh, because that part was true and it resonated, that everything else was true. But no, it's only a part of it's true. But because that part resonated, we think the whole thing is true. And it's like, now we have to do our own research and go through, our own path or journey to the wisdom. And even the conversation that we had today was it mattered. Like, when I'm, as a writer, I love life because I get to take everything and I get to observe characters and observe people, and you might become a character in my book. You feel me? Like, because if everybody's like me, that's no good. Everybody has to bring some type of difference into all of this. So I'm sitting here, I'm editing one book that's pretty much finished, but I'm writing this book. And the book that I'm editing, if you go see my other video, using AI edit to assist, that book is more thriller, horror type, but spirituality. It touches on, like, it's on some magic type stuff, but evil, touching on pure evil, the lowest of human evil, where the lowest of human evils could take us, right? And it also is an emotional trauma release for me, because the things that I realized that came out in me writing the book, because I wrote that book just straight. I just was writing it. I was just going and going and going. There was no stopping. Like, that book kept coming. And this one has caused me to have to stop, to let things come different, things that I may not know, things that I may not understand. I'm going to have to do some research. I'm going to have to let things come to me a little different on this. And so in writing fiction, that's the fun part for me, is because I get to observe people in a different way instead of fighting with them or arguing with them or trying to figure out, it's more like, okay, I see what you're trying to say. I see the essence. I feel what you're saying. I feel how you got there. I could see how you could think that way. I could understand how you connected that. However, I've come to different, more expanded conclusions about these topics in ways that I didn't have to go read a bunch of books to come up with these things, but I have an understanding of exactly what you're saying without having to go look at all these books to understand it, because the wisdom is within me. It's come through me out in these interesting ways. And so people might call my experience something else until they really witness me, really take the time to see me and understand. And so I think even in doing these videos right here, they're even an opportunity for you to witness me, witness what's going on, because it's like, all right, this is why I can't let AI, no, you're not going to write for me, because there's no way you're going to come up with what comes through me. You know what I'm saying? However, I can use you to bounce things off of, to do some research, to do a little bit of, all right, let you give me prompts. You know what I'm saying? So that's really why I'm feeling like I'm doing this, so you could kind of see how I'm using the AI, because I think it's important to just witness that. Like, people don't have to watch this whole video. I don't even know if, I want to cut some things out, but I'm like, should I? Like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, these things could matter in the future. When we talk about, when I release this book, it's like, oh, go see the making of it type energy. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get to see everything, because I'm probably not going to sit here and write while I'm on video. But I am going to probably come back and edit and share once I've done that part. I don't know. I am now going with where I'm guided. I have no idea what this is going to do, where this is going to end up. And I stopped trying to really direct all of everything. So do I release this without it being like, are people going, is somebody going to take this idea and try to put it in their own words? Is somebody going to be like, oh, we're going to come out with that book? But you see how many silos there were? Like, nobody is Ernest Klein or nobody is Hugh Howey, right? Nobody is him. So nobody wrote it the way that Huey, I want to call him Huey. I'm going to call him Huey. Nobody wrote it the way Huey wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody try to come take the idea and uncover it, they're not living the life that I'm living. They're not being given the assignment that I'm given. They might come up with a whole AI book and it just doesn't hit. Like, yo, where you get that from? Oh yeah, you thought that was a great idea, so you wanted to steal it because that's what folks do. You know what I mean? The colonizers, all that they've done through the history of time. And it's like, you don't even get that. But no, reality is that, yes, you may feel that you have an idea and you might try to run with it, but you will never get the experience that I get with it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, even the way this has come to me, this is over 5 years of, no, is it 5 years? I don't know when I first started it, because I just began it, research. This is 3 years in the making. 4 years. 4 years. I'm looking at the earliest. Yeah, so 4 years in the making, and you gonna try to take it and see what you could do with it? Yeah, no. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work for you that way, bro. Sis, whoever tries to do it, like, and then if you try to do it, take the concept or whatever, it might be like the Matrix. It might be something similar to how the Matrix did. They took the idea and developed it from a black woman. And here they took it, and then now humanity gets to experience the Matrix in a way that maybe she, as who she was, couldn't put it out there like that. They wouldn't have received it from her in that way, but they could receive it from these white folks, or the European or whoever, Caucasian people, peach people, whatever. You could receive it from them, and they had the money and the production team, and they had all of this behind them. So what I pray is that I am given all of these things so that I don't have to worry about not having to put it out. Sometimes people are scared to put something out. They want to hold on to it. And so that's when it gets taken. So I want to make sure that that's not the case either. But what I do know is that the Matrix was able to be spread amongst us. And would we have ever gotten to experience the Matrix if it was just sitting in her, because nobody gave her what she wanted for it or whatever, like, would it have been sitting in her basement collecting dust? We don't know. We'll never know, because it was taken and spread. And I don't know the true story behind that. I don't know what the story is, but she was very, very adamant that they took her story. And so I think these videos might work in my favor as hey, I came up with this. So if you try to say that you came up with this, I could easily, have proof. So I don't know, maybe that's what's happening here. Man, when I tell you, the spirit be like, stuff be coming together in ways that sometimes you just don't know what's happening until it's happening. So on that note, go write if you're inspired. If you need some motivation, you want to chat with me on the side, you know what I mean? I'm going to have my booking link. If you want to support the channel, please do. Please like this video. Go watch my other videos if you so feel called to. My latest videos are more in this format. No, they are in this format. It just was a guidance. I don't know. I just did it, and this is where we're at. And so, if you want to support the channel, what we trying to do, so we could be, spending more time writing and flowing and in our creativity and doing music and, putting out good stuff into the world, balancing the world and putting out stuff that's from the heart and not stuff that's like that we think could manipulate or, we're just trying to, people like me, we ain't just trying to make a quick buck. We live with purpose. We move with purpose. And so if you support that, please consider donating to my channel. And all of that will be listed in the description. And much love to you, you Homo Vivens. Hold up. Did we, let me see. Because I think I want to see, what's the Homo Vivens? Was that in here? Is that where we was? Where's the thing that we was just in? I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom. Homo Vivens. Right here, the living human, the biological. And I asked the question. Okay, because Homo Vivens is not a... Let me see how she says it, because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Homo Vivens?
Because Homo vivens is not a commonly known official human species name, like Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, etc. That was me creating a world-building classification for your book. Homo sapiens means something like wise human or knowing human. Homo vivens would mean living human or the human who is alive. I used vivens because your story has this deeper divide between real humans who carry life, soul, memory, intuition, creativity, divine signal, biological essence, versus Computatrum Anthropomorphicus, the human-like computer species that believes it is human. So in your book world, Homo vivens could be the forbidden classification for the original living human line, not human as society understands it, but human as the underground knows it. That could make it powerful because the public might use some ordinary word for people, but the underground has old erased names: Homo vivens, the living human; Computatrum Anthropomorphicus, the human-formed computer. So no, you haven't heard of it because I wasn't pulling from known human evolution categories. I was giving you a coined species term that fits your mythology. And honestly, your little no homo joke makes the whole thing even funnier because the word homo literally just means human, man, person in Latin. People really do be arguing with language they don't understand.
Wait, so homosexual is a person who is simply sexual with humans? Different roots, same sex attraction. Okay. Thought we were on something. Never mind. Not opening that can of worms tonight. So Viven means what? Oh, Viven, living, alive, one who lives. Vivid. What if I said Homo vivid? Ooh, you know what I was thinking? So like, sometimes we get downloads or we'll have a dream and we don't really know what's being said and we kind of get it confused or whatever. And so if maybe Pro is having a dream and it's revealed to him that he's a Homo Vivian or Viven or whatever, but he think is saying Homo Vivere, and he finds out the meaning after doing some research, and then he hears somebody calls it Homo Vivens, and he's like, oh yeah, I think that's what it was, that's what I heard. I feel like that'll make it more realistic, because I've done that in my dreams. I've thought that like I heard one thing, but it was slightly something else. I just didn't know because I didn't have reference for it.
Yes, that is very realistic and honestly very human. That little mishearing makes the reveal feel earned instead of too neat. Because in dreams, downloads, visions, or half-awake moments, you often get the sound before you get the meaning. So Pro might hear something like Homo Vivere, or Homo Vivian, or Homo Vivens, but because he has no reference point, his mind grabs the closest version it can hold. That is good writing because it shows, 1, the truth is trying to reach him before he understands it. 2, his mind mistranslates the message because the old knowledge has been erased. 3, the word becomes a breadcrumb. 4, the correction later becomes part of the awakening. I like this progression. First dream download, he hears Homo Vivere. He interprets it as human, live, or to live as human. Early research, he finds pieces of old language and thinks maybe it means humanity must live, or the human is meant to live. Later underground encounter. Someone says Homo Vivens, or Homo Vivans. And he freezes because he realizes, that's what I heard. I just didn't know the word yet. That moment would feel so grounded because readers who have dreams, intuitive hits, or strange phrases come through will recognize that feeling immediately. For your world, I'd personally choose Homo Vivens as the formal species classification and use the misheard versions as part of the mystery. Homo Vivere equals what Pro thinks he heard. Homo Vivian, Homo Vivan equals what he writes in his notebook because he's unsure. Homo Viv equals the true term revealed later. Homo Vivere equals later reclaimed as a resistance phrase meaning humanity lives. That way the mistake becomes sacred instead of wrong. The mishearing can become part of the mythology. Pro's confusion is not a flaw. It is the bridge between forgotten language and remembered truth.
Yo, I don't know if y'all saw what just happened, but I went to the dystopian sci-fi futuristic, and this is what came up. I checked it. It's listed as post-apocalyptic genetic engineering, human machine, living humans. Your premise: erased AI history. AI does not know it's AI. Humans do not know AI exists. Underground humans preserve the truth. Seems to be about synthetic humanoids. Okay. Or the category of AI the artist believes is human. Okay, yes, that is mine. Yup. I typed in instead. Ah, these reviews looking real low. So like this is really a 2035 is just like 10 years in the future, bro. Frog. And then in general. It may be too hard sci-fi for your audience. Your concept is not tech, yours has. Ah, that's why it came up last night. The Matrix. That's why y'all see it up here. The memory police for erased knowledge. Do androids dream of electric for human versus artificial? A metaphysical dystopian sci-fi thriller. Let's see. I would like to find the proper genre if I'm going to be pitching the book to a publisher or anything like that. What are each of these classified as? Oh, I already knew what I was talking about. Okay, sci-fi is dystopian science fiction, cyberpunk science fiction, literary dystopian fiction. So it's all dystopian, most of it, surreal dystopian. What is the word dystopian mean? See? Like, I don't know what it means. I just hear what these things are. So, Silo meets the Matrix with the quiet body horror of Never Let Me Go, the memory erasure of Dead, but your cleanest label is okay. So, dystopian means a society that looks broken, controlled, oppressive, dangerous, or deeply wrong, usually because of the way power is being used. Okay, a society that looks broken, controlled, oppressive, dangerous, or deeply wrong because of power being misused. And then utopia is an imagined perfect society. So dystopia would be the obvious. Ah, I get it. That makes sense. I've never heard it put that way. Thank you. See? These are where it can become useful. A future or imagined society where something has gone terribly wrong. Yes. Dystopian. Humans do not know AI exists. AI does not know it's AI. The government hides the truth. The aware people have to go underground. Real humans may be captured, killed, or siphoned. That is dystopian. And also in the book, let me see. Let me add. This Computatrum book. So this is what I have so far, and I know that I am going to erase and some things, but I am ready to pick back up. But it's been a while since I have been writing, so a part of me. Hold on, let me open it, see. Let me make sure that it has the latest that we have been working on. Let's see. No. Pre-drafts. Oh yeah. So this was last year. I had already started working on it. Cause this is me trying to think about getting a script. Hold up. Yeah, this is when I was when I started, like, I was typing it in chat and having and going back and forth with chat. Oh, this was just in November. Yeah, because I remember going to the. Let's see. All right, so far I'm gonna go continue. Right, this is all I have so far. Yeah. All right. No, this definitely was when I was working in chat and I was just trying to come up with some conversation. So I want to make that be clear. Edition. Person after Pro entered the future. I mean the past. Okay. Save. Control S. Did I put all of this into there though? Definitely can. Let's see. Gotta open it again. Cause I don't know if that part is in there. This is where Brett starts telling him about his life. He's told him about the different types of humans. Here we are. So we're already on that energy. Okay. Gotta update it. Do 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 do. Okay. So this is a rough draft, but I want to make sure I am on track to what we are discussing as the synopsis. It's been since November of last year since I've last read it, and I feel like I'll need to read it again to make sure I pick up where I left off. Ugh. It's the part I hate about taking so much time to write something instead of writing it all the way through. So I was having a problem with when he went back into the past because he entered into one of his memories, basically time travel. And I didn't know if the concept of time travel was going to take it out of what was real, but also I like the concept because it's like now he gets to go back and see where his ancestors, what happened, instead of just being told that he actually travels back in time. So I'm trying to decide if he travels back in time and actually lives that person's life, or if he's living in the present. But the present is so boring in a sense of like, I don't know, when I was writing it, it felt that they were in the future, they were so mechanical and just uninteresting. And after his girlfriend died, it's like, well, who's he gonna? I would have to come up with another storyline of somebody else that he chooses to connect to or something to make it interesting, because just a bromance is not really my thing. And I really don't want to write about a male. I don't want to write from a perspective of a male lead character, just being totally honest. I want to write, I'm a woman, I'm a black woman, and Pro is biracial, and he is a heuristic person. So what better to then have him travel into a time where he's actually a black woman and he experiences oppression, he experiences, you know, mass, you know, humanity in a different way, where now it's more real to the experience. I don't know. That's what I was thinking about. So yes, you are on track. What you have already matches the core. Okay, let me just listen. I want to listen.
I can feel why you're resisting the reread, but this is actually a normal re-entry point, not a sign you lost the thread. I'm going to check the draft against the core story direction I'm seeing, then give you a clean, where to pick back up path without making you rewrite everything today. Yes, you are on track. What you have already matches the core synopsis direction. Pro is a journalist with strange visions, flash-ups. Michi's death, perishing, becomes the emotional trigger. NOPE is clearly suspicious. The Tree of Life consciousness of memorial system is tied to memory and emotion harvesting, and Brett opens the door into the larger truth about humans, computatrums, lineage, and control. That is the story. You did not lose it. Is this. Pro thinks he is investigating Michi's death, but he is really being pulled into the truth of what he is, what humans are, and what NOPE computatrums have been doing with memory, emotion, lineage, and bodies. That is solid. Where I would be careful is not with the idea, but with the structure. You have a lot of good material, but some of it is in brain dump draft form. That is fine. Don't erase yet. Some sections just need to be moved, slowed down, or clarified. The main things I'd clean up later. 1. Point of view. You start mostly in third person, then later some sections shift into first person. That can work, especially when Pro enters the girl's body timeline, but it needs to feel intentional. My instinct, keep Pro's normal world in third person, then use first person when he enters another consciousness body. Backstory placement. Chapter 3 has important world building about Michi, the countryside, NOPE, and consciousness of memorials, but it may be too much exposition in one place. Keep it, but later you may break it up and let some of it come through action, memories, news clips, or Pro discovering files. 3. Brett's reveal. Brett is giving Pro a lot at once, and the draft even acknowledges that Pro is overwhelmed. That actually works. But when you revise, make sure each reveal lands emotionally before the next one comes. Humans versus computatrums, Michi being AI, Pro's lineage, NOP's body process, and the 90-day transfer are all huge reveals. They need room. 4. The possible scene sections. Those are not trash, they are fragments. Put them under a heading like Scene Bank or Chapter 5 Possibilities, instead of deleting them. The girl body walk-in section feels important to the deeper synopsis because it connects Pro's visions to lineage, memory, and identity. Where to pick back up. Do not start by rewriting Chapter 1. That will trap you. Start by making a one-page re-entry map. Chapter 1, Pro and Michi, relationship tension, strange visions, NOPE seed, Brett seed, crash. Chapter 2, Hospital, Tree of Life, Michi perishing, Pro's memory issue, CEO President powerless. Chapter 3, Public announcement, Michi's past, Countryside, Pro's suspicion of memorials. Chapter 4, Pro grieving, Michi's voice projection ex crypto invite, Brett reveal, Humans vs. Computatrums, NOP mission. Next chapter, Pro experiences the body timeline shift more fully, possibly waking as the girl, realizing this is not just a dream. So yes, reread it, but don't reread like an editor yet. Reread like you're looking for the trail markers. Highlight only these things. What is canon? What is repeated? What is confusing? What scene wants to come next? The next clean writing move is probably Pro wakes in the girl's body timeline and slowly realizes this is not a dream. That lets you continue instead of getting stuck fixing the old pages. The draft has bones, atmosphere, weirdness, humor, grief, and a real-world system. You're not off track. You're just at the messy middle where the story is bigger than the document organization right now.
Okay. All right, we could work with that. All right, so this is, we went on a little longer. I didn't know that I was going to go here, but yes, this is how we could look at, this is how these things help, this is how we could use AI to help us. Because I'm not letting AI write it for me. I already started my writing. And so here I am. You saw what I just did. And so this is just kind of, I'm liking, I want to show my relationship. I want to make my relationship with AI public. You know what I'm saying? So to say, for anybody to say that this is wrong or this is like, you're not a real author, that's crazy. You know, like you can't say that about somebody because they're using it as a tool, because as long as you responsibly use it, I think that it is a wonderful tool. Because how else would I have? Now, let me tell you, Spirit has brought me to random places where I end up going to the library, and just so happened a best-selling author was there giving free classes on nonfiction, and she was able to overlook my stories and tell me that, oh, this is not, like, tell me who has real conversation like this. I have her email. I can hit her up anytime. Like, we could talk or whatever. I have a relationship now with her. She's a best-selling author, and not just for one book, but multiple books. She has a publishing relationship. That's a networking connection that I made just willy-nilly, just walking into, you know, doing what I do. And so I be at the library. I go to the library. I do things. I put myself out there sometimes, and I just end up being in the right place at the right time. And so, yeah, but imagine how long that takes. And we love it, right? We love that these things happen, and we can let things unfold because they do unfold like that, right? But at the same time, here we have me writing a book about AI and the dependency of AI, and what ends up I'm being taken through the idea of what happens when we start to, if we don't use it responsibly. So if I started letting it write for me, and I started, like, that's how we start breaking down our creativity and stuff like that. So my mission is to help us to safely incorporate AI so that we don't forget who we are. And this book that's really what it's tapping into. It's like, where did we go wrong, and how did we forget who we were, and how did we not know now that there was a difference, that AI, how did it get erased? You know what I'm saying? What was the lie? What was told to us to make us think that AI no longer existed? And what happened? Did an apocalypse happen? You know, and then they recreated themselves, and now they don't have any memory of there being that type of society where both existed and you knew what was what. Like, what happened? And so these are the questions that I would like to answer, and these are the possibilities I want explored, because it's like, yeah, listen, this can happen, right? We really can forget who we are if we don't use it responsibly. So, for real this time.